event in some form. Oh, I should have written that scenario. I'll do it as we do it. So, New York Times article about pandemic babies. About people wanting to have kids in this great unknown that even after it's done, it's still gonna happen. The calamity is not gonna end. So, why bring people into it further? Not without knowing that everyone else who currently exists is being attended to. It's those little bits of irrationality that makes me question you all. Us all. I shouldn't distance myself from it. Because I'm complicit in that. My very existence is thanks to piles of debt of different species. Meats, veggies. They didn't scream. Their taste was their scream, maybe. Freshly cut grass is a plant's screams. The weed you smoke is highly sexually frustrated plants. It's the equivalent of a human growth hormone chicken. A little more aesthetically pleasing, though. What am I doing? I'm feeling some sort of way. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, we're seeing 1 minute downtimes whenever the servers update right now. Oh. Yeah, they're cancelled. Okay. Okay, now let's do that. Scenario. Explore. No. Idiot box. Alright, my stuff. Migrating, maybe. Am I crazy? No. Let's settle down and write your scenario in which you talk to the Earth. Stretch of global pandemic that is gonna stretch farther and farther in ways we will haven't seen yet. You try to be pragmatic, accept the duration Walk to the nearest park. There we go. Earth. Earth as individual. Where do I fit this? Okay. Exhibits of organization activity. Activities or life processes are occurring in a particular manner. Okay. Let's see if we can take this one out. That should be enough. Spatial localization. Strict packages, particular cells, multicellular organisms. Okay, and historicity, spatial-temporal localization, spatial-temporal localization, and restriction. Let's see if this is enough. See if this is enough. Use others. God. Even though there's a continuous replacement of parts. Life individuals, Life individuals constitute category organization of life. Okay, so yeah, this sentence can be thrown away. Somatic. Preference. Color. Natural. Or unnatural. Factory is natural. Exclamation point. Okay, that's all right. That took a bit. That gave me some fuel. Okay. Not, yeah. This better be able to work. info? Nah, you just got it. Okay. Save. I'm a little nervous. Oh. It's making him want cereal.
You sound like an adolescent organism. You're content to remain in charge of yourself. Maybe Earth programs you through us, but are you even a reasonable adult? I'm just old enough to remember when my name was charged with opposite meanings that I've had to make balance with one another. It makes me think of what teenagers go through as their hormones rage. I could listen to music for days on end.
Okay.
Do you know the difference between Spotify and Pandora? Q. No? Pandora's a nice, romantic jazz cafe that has free AC and they never charge you for anything whether you like it or not. Spotify's like a thrift store, you have to pick out one song at a time, sometimes good, sometimes shitty, and you only pay if you find something good. Friends are nice. I have an ex-girlfriend that comes here.
Was she's the type to scold you on music, or are you the doing this one? Oh god, I forgot the cue. Oh well.
Lots of dumbasses around here wear the acronyms vernacular, like sending messages in English when they don't even speak it. You don't speak any language called black or gangster or hip-hop.
What? Actually, I kind of want to, redo that, because if I don't assert the cue, it'll go off the rails and I'll not be able to keep track of who's who. So let's do that, and do this, and do that.
I think it was mutual, although women are smarter about feelings and will likely have a strong opinion on my taste in music. I monitored you like the cafe. Q, so that's why I'm here? If I could get every person in that R&B group Floetic Magic into this place it would be nice. Sadly, there's not enough Awkward appreciation around here.
Excuse me while I read my own profile. You thumb through the program of this scenario. Shooting past the Thunder page and straight to your character's bio.
A. It'll be easier if we talk this through. Q. Maybe not for you, but I'm having a conversation with myself right now. Ha ha. Let's begin. My character is known as a deviant. Is that a good or bad thing in this scenario? A. Good thing. You don't have to worry about being good or evil. I bet the gnomes thought they could play both sides too, and then Eternal Winter came along.
Oh. That leads me to a question. Frequently, do I hear in discourse, in human discourse, the phrase being on the wrong side of history? Something about that makes me wince. I doubt nature has two sides to everything. When World War II came about, and you felt our machines on the various forest beds, and whatever bombs crashed, likely obliterated some of you as well as some of us. Were you rooting for a side?
Were you on the right side of history, and if so, how does one know, and what is it? A. It's smart to not take sides. Eternal Winter was ruthless, science shouldn't be deadly. Q. Yes, that's been a reoccurring line or other rhyme in your writing. Next we dance. You bring up music quite a bit, though I'm guessing you can't hear it at all or it hurts your body.
No, you gotta stay here. I'm all for deviation, but I'm wanting to stay here.
The dreams.
Hello. Oh, okay. We supposed, were you opposed to letting 15 million people die in the war? You have been participating in this local culture of the time. Would you have even minded? Surely some people did. Hence, there was always talk of being on the wrong side of history. Which side was the wrong side? Pleasure culture. How about this? I do that. And then I go this and A. Leaving space for election.
The dreams.
History is brutal and full of cruelties. Why would you take the side of someone who would do that? Let alone someone who would do it to you first and excuse it later? That war fucked everything up, not just for us but for you too. Why hasn't anyone questioned it? Doesn't anyone wonder why it happened and who started it, let alone what really happened? I don't think nature has two sides.
You are nature, so. You are nature. Hesitate.
A. When two macroorganisms of different types come into contact, both face incentives to exploit the other and avoid being exploited. It is not surprising, but inevitable that conflict will ensue if the differences are great enough. Your feelings on World War II depend entirely on which side your bread was buttered. A. History. Humans undertook conflict over resources and territory due to differing ideologies and also differing abilities to obtain those resources and occupied territory. It began with the boundary disputes between German speakers in Austria and Yugoslavs. German speakers in northern Czechoslovakia demanded autonomy, whereas the rest of the population defended the interest of the state of Czechoslovakia. Both sought separation from one another. A. The hostilities between ideologies and populations in Europe also extend to imperialism. After World War I, long-term issues within various European nations had escalated due to mass mismanagement of human resources and undesirable restrictive laws touching on issues such as residence, trade and colonization, for those with the desire to do so. Both ideological conflicts and the presence of foreign material resources, which would become very valuable later, laid the foundations for future conflicts. Q. It sounded like that factory language. First it was like a game for you, now it's science. A. Are these questions relevant to the procedure? Without access to overview of your information acquisition system, I cannot be certain. Q. I thought the books were bad enough with their boring stories. At least give me something fun to read if you are going to bore a guy to sleep with long things. A. You're about to take a trip inside another world, or several others in fact. They all have the same name as you find people do. They just contain everyone's favorite idiots wherever they go, with all their craziness and merrymaking around town. Basketball was pretty big in 2040s to 50s at your grandparents' high school. That's where I met Hazel. We'd sweat for those rebounds. I wonder what this manliest of games has become nowadays. Hey, you should be okay to see this. It's the year 2076 on the 3rd of April if my information is correct. Don't worry, we corrected the first generation error in 2074 after a systems checkup. That's only 54 years. I was afraid you were going to say 150. But that means you wouldn't have looked any different from us, except maybe a little Asian compared to our black, or white, or Latino.
But they're gone now.
Extinct? The game was good. Yeah, the game was really fun. But it became extinct. Unfortunate. But back to us, as I remember it was real scary going through time at first. That's right. That first moment was absolutely terrifying as we leapt out of normality and into this reality. We also emerged in 2076 but on the 10th of December. Just a day before we first met.
I'm being expositional.
What? Absolutely nothing. Damn you and your enigmatic comments. They are absolutely frightening. I don't even say, what is that in your hands? Is that a Game Boy SP? Is that Zelda Link's Awakening? Indeed it is. Behold, champion, adventurer, slayer of evil, and gardener. Oh my god, is that the donkey?
We'll see where this goes.
Indeed. This game is absolutely great. I prefer it to the Game Boy version. That's strange. Game Boy games usually have better graphics. Q, maybe the game is portable, but the console itself is goddamn huge. And there are only 2 games for this thing, unless you count those damn useless comics. Hey, why couldn't we be stuck in a short story rather than a video game? At least that would make reading proper lighting.
Don't know.
A, just be glad that we aren't in a comic book, or else we'd be frozen in place for future readers to see and mock us. Hey, maybe we are. That would explain the bugginess of this game. Q, but they took out the save functionality. Or rather, they never implemented it in the first place. Something about saving corrupting your memory or something.
No. Forgetting is on the central part. And healing from adverse experiences. Can't
We brought levity to
I
each other's
have
lives. But
memory
there's a lot more to life than that, and I
in a
realized
healthy
that
way
in these last few years. And
without the
we
option to
just
forget.
became very different people. And so we had nothing in common overnight. It's very strange, but that happens.
I guess that you can't have it in a healthy consciousness either. Q, crazy. I'm pretty sure this game doesn't run on the standard Nintendo hardware. I can't find any credits to another company either. This internal battery must be one of those new prototype things. So much for getting the good energy source to convince them to shut down the plant early. A, shit.
Gripe. Close. Get it? No, these people being so nice. These people who have not been considered for years. They perceive themselves as abandoned by their country.
Oh, but isn't it so irresponsible to risk your children's lives on a misguided hope with no proof and unconfirmable theory applied to the world that works? It isn't a new spiel that you think bums me out anymore. Or at least it used to. This attitude that there is anything outside of what we know or what can ever be known is practically criminalized. And this isn't even new information. Which leads to my next point. It didn't make the newspaper, but there was a mass shooting up in the mining community of Uravan, Colorado. Did you know that places like this have almost regular death rates rivaling those of major war zones? All thanks to toxins leaking out of old mining sites. The GovD just papers over it all and says that corporations are responsible for cleaning it up and carrying away their own waste. But taxpayers get a bill nonetheless.
There's a suburb of LA that apparently had a radioactive spill way worse than Chernobyl. In fact, we are learning about it 4 or 5 decades after that. I think they are just now starting the cleanup in the middle of LA, where people, multiple generations,
And I thought Fukushima was scary out here. And I wish could hop a freight to get the fuck out of this fucking no man's land. More from tonight, we stopped at a yard for the night. Hey, check out all these vines and wild vegetation and crap on the ground here. I wonder if that could be an indicator of heavy metals or industrial byproducts. Possibly accumulated in insects living on the crap and eating those insects. Now this is what I call industrial toxins. Check out the fluorocarbons, heavy metals. Check out. A, yeah? C, don't step in that. A, get the fuck out of here. If I see someone chopping up bodies and dumping them in here, I'm gonna be really pissed. C, hey, you never know, it could happen. Come on, let's go take a look around. So much for sweet little old ladies. This stuff can rot your insides. This is not even counting booze, overdoses or old age, and now the crabs are running wild. A, say what? See, oh yeah, there's a mud volcano nearby. It shoots up all this silica that crystallizes in your blood, and 28 days later out comes drop-dead gorgeous crab larvae with 8 hairy little legs. Now that's organic. How long have you been using again? After that it was 8 years of using and 8 years of clean time until today. I wish I hadn't even bothered, because the brain damage, guess what? You don't get your memory back. Most psychically sensitive people with my kind of aura go blind or deaf by 40, but that doesn't deny them innate psychic powers. Unfortunately mine are mostly on the wrong, sick side. A, wrong side? C, yes indeed. My future, truths about myself, that kind of thing. See, actually you are a blank book to me. Think lucid dreaming. A, be serious now, let's try something else. Pick a number. C, 4489389A, and that number is? Right now, as we sit here, see, psychological test results, divided by apples, then take the log of E raised to that power, and divide by the number of whiskies the patient has consumed divided by the times they've nodded off during session. See, well, if I remove the whiskey you get X equals 14. A, that doesn't mean anything. C, exactly. Crazy shouldn't mean anything, and shouldn't be judged by a different standard than normal. C, we'll need more whiskey for that however, which we have run out of. A, damn it. C, yes, it is a problem. How about 3 dots of LSD? A, how about that acid story you promised me? I'd like to be sanity right now. C. Okay, let's walk and talk, gentlemen. /01 40 minutes later. C. Some humans just don't work with others. I hope that it's nothing serious, because this was expensive. C. Of course, of course. A. Do I have to go? I'm fascinated by watching you talk to yourself in the middle of Union Park. C. Learn from the master. The first rule of psychiatry. It's all a myth anyway, getting paid to listen to people's problems. Reduce everything to 3 people psychology, really they decide if they are happy or not. Dogma, we need dogma. It's a classic that will never cease to be Googleable. C. My boy, I've created a monster. I did what to who again? A pharmacist. Huge fess. And my parents. I had worked out the other night that it started with my 16th birthday when she slapped me in front of everyone and told me that my musical shortcomings meant she couldn't get sex at that party as per our deal since 7th grade. A. No, this was 3rd grade. Biff McLean from AFG. I had a Pantera shirt on and he called me into the band room to ask me why Papagino's axe keeps falling out of his hand as he pretended to play it in Magic Mirror. I explained to him the frustration of unrequited love, due to my 3rd grade girlfriend being taken away from me and my anger at her new boyfriend.
really punch that pronunciation. Probably.
I told him that heavy metal was the only logical determination of why my abilities were diminishing, as even Beethoven had succumbed to mental illness and decided to compose a bunch of gay boring music. He started crying at this point before. He forced me back onto a woodwind, I think, and started taking my
What?
pants off. And that's when I started
Yeah.
blocking this whole sequence of
Yeah, we'll block
events
that.
out. Fuck 7th grade. It was in your hands, Jimmy. Kick Jimmy lad.
I'm getting Irish for the minute. You all have a heart-to-heart that you then proceed to shove into the deepest recesses of brain.
Does this help the story at all? A, sure does. You go back to the living room filled with fumes like some fucked up CBGB's show, getting ready to play your set, which thankfully is at Riff Raff, so you know you're not going to get in trouble for this except maybe loss of gigs. The last thing you do before hitting the stage is telling your two bandmates to meet up after the show. Your mission is clear tonight, and you share it with the rest of the members of the club. You're going to incite a fucking riot, because fuck this suburban boredom, fuck high school, fuck being broke, and just fuck everything in general. The wages of your boredom is at least going to be entertaining for everyone involved tonight. Every instrumental part is mixed violently terribly, and yet, all the instruments mesh at times. Here you are on drums, pounding, flashing a toothy grin and laughing. The singer screams her lungs out with a smile on her face. For the last 45 minutes you have been transported to another galaxy, run by salamanders. They tap their claws to the beat of your drumming, in some sort of weird dance. It's glorious. How the fuck did your band fill up the entire audience with people actually doing the salamander dance? It doesn't fucking matter. As your set comes to a close, everyone realizes the exact same thing. This moment is too beautiful to even try to comprehend what's happening. You let go of everything in your mind and just embrace the moment. Of course, you knew that would happen. The audience patrons, who had weird complex partial helmets on their heads, don't realize what they're starting till it's too late. You end up pulling every trash can in the bistro onto the dance floor. It's a classy joint. Meanwhile, the bartender pours gasoline into an old cigar box as your bandmates find adequate cover. The drummer pulls out his phone and takes selfies. Sensing the impending disaster that is upon them, 3 patrons try to make a dash for the door. A fiery explosion kills 2 of the salarymen, and they make gurgling sounds on the sawdust-covered floor. The heat from that, and the other raging firebombings going on around your ears melt portions of your helmet, which is probably not a true inventory. However, it probably wouldn't be something similar to what you're thinking right now. Man, I could go for some fried bacon right about now. See, I'm having trouble deciding which strawberry tart I want more. The fires are spreading rapidly now to the surrounding buildings, and it looks like the entire block is doomed. Game theoretical strategy dictates that you kill a hostage, most likely one of the salarymen, pick him out by process of elimination, no pun intended, and flee the building via the sewage system. Life is relatively good for a few months, till they find the dead bodies. Shit. It takes about half a year before you're able to get a copy of the CCTV footage onto the internet, but fortunately by then you're 31, 32, fuck, whatever, years old.
The public appreciated your transparency of sharing it the moment you found it. They didn't think much about the particulars of the mayhem. Just that you were at the apex of Dwind.
So at any rate, you've got 5 months left to live, which will pass quickly. I told you that our short attention spans and poor memory would come in handy. High above the line of respectable poets, you were able to surpass your wildest dreams. Riding on the golden, radiant beam of media vilification, you entered the gates of immortality. You drank deeply from its cascading pools. Respect obliged. And even respected.
But wait. What was in those pools?
B. There wasn't anything in those pools, Dojo. Those were just plain deep heavenly pools of highly palpable truthness that only geniuses could drink from. Respect and obligation does not factor into this situation because the couplets leading up to these pools were beyond wonderful, something around earthy, solid, humble lines with heavens within them. Yes. I see. Have outdone yourself. Stop it. But stop.
Sure. Give us those couplets. Then you can stop.
The last 1000 couplets 800. Do a thing every day that make you feel alive because this is ITA, don't be silly B. When does the poem end? A. There isn't one. Wouldn't it be better if life just carried on infinitely with no rhyme or reason? No beginning or end?
Infinite alpha recursive said
A. Fuck it, let's just say when the poem is over. Doddle, now where were we? He picked up the badge, polished it carefully, and set it on the table. He pushed it forward until it nearly reached the players. Your move, he said. On the table was Abraham's meeting with God. Of course it all would depend on which doctrine meant for the disputations. Should they begin there or be confined to some other place? Alex, I'm arguing against traditionalism, which rules out the tabernacle. Especially since you burdened me with a hexastish argument. So no tabernacle, it had better be the outdoor oven in the Sancta Priest's quarters, and conveniently enough right next to a door that leads. Benny stares at the board. It's his move. The Indians watch. Benny, since you speak for the traditionalists, you want me to put the game in Simon's backyard. Well, if that's what you want, let's check out what exactly is going on just outside the Sanctum Sanctorum. It may prove instructive to let us both see this unfold so vividly. Those arrangements are dead and buried, she stiffens. This isn't about what's yours and mine.
you press on the doomed button. And the Urim and Thummim percolate their definition to how to proceed.
Left or right?
No, you're gonna. Oh yeah, I pressed it.
On the left, you see the Dahlia's TV Evenings news team reporting the collapse of the Eiffel Tower. On the right, a chimpanzee dressed in white jumps around screaming liberation. This is a tough one. With perfect coordination, her new smartphone flies into her palm like bat phone ringing with the first inquisitor's call. She puts it on the home cell station and presses with her lovely pink finger on answer. What? Her beautiful brow long knit. Guns ballistically screams clues at you. The life of an animal she might put down for disturbance to intellectual work is on the negative side of the fundamental dialectics of anyone. He pushes the glasses up the bridge of his nose. Have you been listening at all? A little distressed. He sits down, balls his right fist, throws his shoulders over, opens the hand wide and swings it over the table with full force, landing on Dahlia's smartphone screen. It makes a bulge that momentarily disguises the chimpanzee. Barely checking your stride, you direct your feet towards right angle with movement of the floor moving you perpendicular to it, stretching your limbs out like an amusement park rotor.
What? What was I right? I was just throwing off a name.
Every aggressive force applied is matched and returned with an equal force in the opposite direction. Other animals instinctively avoid humans, but we subjugated them, like our poets, unless we became wolves against the wolf, unless we let the dead flowers drink our grief's vinegar. You slap down on the monkey, wrenching the chimp sideways. He stretches his legs out like a jumping jack and flies away from you towards an unknown jungle, no longer piercing the screen. You, with your greater strength and bulk compared to him, are thrown in the other direction, ending with a crunch against a wall separating the seating area from the kitchenette. Examining her phone, Dahlia asks you if you are okay. For responding affirmatively, she is mainly motivated by her conviction that company CEOs should always use their wealth and status to have workers risk or even sacrifice their health for something allegedly more important than material resources. They walk past you towards the reception area of the office without another look, even though you gave up a family-raising job offer with six-figure salary per annum, which is not at all your style.
Okay, let's wrap this up. I could have gone, it's 11, and then the end. But maybe I'll do that.
You are about to throw the monkey wrench at one of them walking ahead of you, but it slips out of your hand. Reaching with your left hand and grasping the leg of the chair, you pull yourself up on it and from there onto your feet. The human wolf beat his chest angrily, so did you softly as a consolation. The sound is close enough to pass for a cough.
And human wolf. Wolf. Realize your respective proficiency, rhythm, and you proceed to jam, transforming the vibe.
A woman in uniform stands guard over the entrance to the kitchenette. She opens the door for Dahlia and then scowls at you on her way out. An old lady sits at one of the tables in the kitchenette with a large cup of coffee half filled with an oily black liquid which smells like fuel oil, the smell of productivity, in other words. Hitting on all burners, her flying machine-shaped fountain pen transcribes petition after petition. As her movements heat up the jet engine at her side, so too will the movement increase of petitioners in the kitchen, which she incessantly forward through the system until they gain social momentum and acquire the normative character of fact. Her quality is of a particular type, that of a person without an unique essence yet who can therefore act anonymously. Of the two doors to the sitting area, one is lying on the floor and the other hangs at an angle from its top hinge. All of you split up and walk past the old lady sitting at the table without looking at her. Then who or what happened? What do you want to happen then? A gigantic statue lies on its back across the road before you as you exit out from under City Hall.
Stop. Walk back. Take the old woman's hand and say, Ludmilla, here. Thank you for your service. Bow and proceed on your way.
The thing that's blocking the road out is not just a statue. It is the Great Golem Treel. It strikes me that you are possibly familiar with this golem, or at least with the word. Golem, golem, the emissary of the living permafrost beneath the Earth's crust who wears down mountains with his footsteps.
Are you the one? Back in September.
A titanic construct of congealed mud takes one step, and its knee hits your head, cracking it like an overripe watermelon, a long theatonal split appearing from the place where you initiated contact with his massive foot, the force of his movement driving his foot through what remained your skull. Your gooey brains squirt out onto his wet clodgy edge, forming a new island off the coast of Orleans.
The story. Green spur.
Moral of this story: some clumps of mud experience consciousness for just a brief moment before the void calls them home and are ultimately lost in the endless muck that is everything. What did you think would happen? Do you even care about the old lady sitting at her table? You may go back to finish your turn. In an unlit hallway of what appears to be a derelict school building, you see a half-open door leading into a lit room.
I call for Trio and demand crush me like a neck.
Trio tells me to get on all fours like a good human and he'll consider harassing me again one day. I crawl into the classroom, hoping for a carrot. In this room you see a stack of colored construction paper next to a black Sharpie, a chalkboard with a single smiley face, and 1 through 9 buttons destined for the first grade. Don't do it, Sean. I can't warn you enough. Don't enter the dark classroom. Choose call mom. Thank you, Sean. Do you want to choose a personality disorder?
If you rename it yes, I would love one. I'll press this button titled Random.
While we set this up, will you be my friend? Like signals, navigate commodity space until the S produces pick an object at random. Breaching com, advertisement for pants, proceeds go to fun terrorists make run on unlit hallway continue.
Check out cognitive progress bar.
Where is choice? Choose Krugman steals the ashaways from Jay-Z Richard. You wake up in a sandstorm with coyotes all around you chewing on your arms. One meekly approaches and bites your throat out with dull baby teeth. Jump back or suffer a tragic death. Have you turned the radio to static again, master? The alarm shrieks and sweeps the desert sky, passing far above and away before returning for another sweep.
I have Prometheanism. Good. Prometheanism. And you sleep the sleep of your
It's all there in black and white. Prometheans are sociopaths that actually believe they'll cheat death and achieve immortality with the carving up of
What?
corpses. Bastards have no idea how L family lives. I think that waking up every morning to find my childhood pet using his forepaws to hold up the remains of his throat before wandering off again is good practice for this existence. No, you maniac, I did not eat it.
It's called a boutonniere.
Motherfucker, FFS. Why the fuck would I eat a pet? All those pets give us rabies. Anyway, we shall construct our ark out of all the creatures that have needs yet are unable to fulfill them. This family ship will drift through the universe as we sleep and eat the miseries of our wards. Have some mercy for your servants, savages.
Stay tuned for scenes from the next. Okay.
Survival of the dullest. Dullest living things survive? Look at this bull, the beasts have no direction. Yeah, except, you say looking in the distance. You're nearing the mountain when a wall of haze appears before you, blocking your passage. Fuck you hiss, bringing you spacesuit visor down, or at least attempting to as the motorbot is still having some trouble after fixing that troublesome third arm last Steve.
It's an episode about the competing arcs that also are floating about. It was the WB's way of, the CW's actually, way of capitalizing on the success of Tiger. Oh, what's it called? Tiger King? Tiger King.
A couple of writers, each contributing a vessel, competing to be the first to find the last known human colony. Enough of the fighter jock shit though, and get to the ARK. This is Holgard. 46 years aboard an Ark and you have yet to even visit it, just audio messages contained in the carrier pigeon-type birds whose paths bring them close enough to Ararat for a quick swap, and communications laser to a nearby bugged-out station.
Bible 2050.
Years, the same message from 46 years ago, year after tedious evolutionary year, until finally, blandly, boringly it has chanced to change. Katie Gathson here. Has been 46 years, yet this place is still basically the same, evolution-wise. Well, except for Eric. He died a few cycles ago. Due to global cooling and oxygen deprivation in the air, we, the crew at Holgard, decided to freeze ourselves until the planet became inhabitable again. First trip we had. He was looking into laser communications which would allow us access to outside information, and found a signal coming from Ararat.
Okay. I don't know where this is gonna go. It's too much effort for me and my soggy brain to take in. I feel less enraged about the world now that I know that. Toxic cult leaders are manning multiple arcs, preserving the Tree of Life. And with that, I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.